All right, buckle up, everybody, because today we are diving headfirst into some serious JDM goodness, and I'm really excited about this one.
Oh, I can already tell. What have we got?
Well, you know how much I love a good minivan, right?
Haha, yeah, you've made that quite clear.
But today, we're not talking just any minivan. We're taking a deep dive into the Honda Step WGN Sparta Premium Line.
Okay, the Sparta, now we're talking. I'm already intrigued. Where are we getting our info from?
This time, our main source is a YouTube review from a real JDM car enthusiast over in Japan. He found this used model at a dealership in Osaka, and oh man, it's a beaut. And the video is pretty awesome because it's a great look at the car, like inside and out, plus a test drive.
So we're not just looking at the specs, we're getting a real feel for what this thing is like to actually, experience. I like it.
Exactly. And it's not just about the minivan itself, though, right? We're going to use this video to, get a peek into Japanese car culture, see how this model has evolved over time, and figure out why this particular, used TEP WGN is such a steal.
Sounds like we're going beyond the brochure and getting into some real cultural insights. I'm ready.
So right away, the price jumps out. This beauty is going for $4,202,000.
Okay. That's a decent chunk of change, even for a premium minivan.
Oh, it is. But hold on, because here's the thing. It's a used demonstrator model, practically brand new, with only 9,245 kilometers on it.
Ah, okay, so that explains the price a bit. Still a pretty penny for a used car, though, no.
Yeah, but wait, there's more. It comes loaded with, get this, 710,000 worth of options.
Wow, okay, now you've got my attention. That's a lot of extras.
Right. And think about it. The original price was $3,840,000, but the current model year starts at $4,060,000.
So already a good deal, then, even before factoring in the extra options.
Exactly. And there's one more thing. You ready for this? A facelift is hitting in May 2025. And you know what that means.
A price hike? Probably a hefty one.
Yep. Another $200,000 is expected to get added to the price tag.
So basically, this used Step WGN Sparta Premium Line is a bargain waiting to happen.
You got it. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We need to see if it actually lives up to the hype.
All right, let's break it down. Let's start with the exterior. What makes this premium line stand out visually, compared to the regular Step WGN?
Well, first thing that caught my eye, and the YouTuber mentions this right away, are those matte black accents. Instantly elevates the look. It's sleek. It's sophisticated. Not your typical, mom-mobile.
Yeah, those little touches can make a big difference. What else?
This generation Step WGN it's got a much larger presence on the road. They call it a 3-number plate size, which I thought was interesting.
Ah, yes. The 3-number plate. That's specific to the Japanese car classification system. Basically, the size of the license plate corresponds to the vehicle's dimensions. So 3-number plate means it's a larger, more luxurious vehicle, often associated with higher taxes and a certain level of prestige.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Makes sense, though.
Yeah, it's these little details that give you a glimpse into the culture, right?
Totally. And speaking of prestige, the YouTuber really loved the front design. Kept calling it timeless.
Timeless, huh? That's a good sign. Means it's not going to look dated in a few years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to add a bit of, that futuristic flair, it's got electrostatic, touch-sensitive doors. You just, press your finger and whoosh, they open automatically.
Ah, very nice. Those touch-sensitive doors, they're popping up on a lot of high-end Japanese cars these days. It's not just about convenience. It's about creating that feeling of, effortless luxury.
Right, everything is seamless and smooth.
Exactly. A subtle but effective way to elevate the whole driving experience. All right, I'm ready to step inside. What's waiting for us in the interior?
Okay, prepare to be wowed.
Yeah.
The YouTuber's, blown away by the rear seats. They're captain's chairs, and get this, they have ottomans.
Ottomans? Now that's what I call minivan luxury. Sign me up.
Right, and the seats recline so you can, lie back and take a nap if you want. Perfect for road trip.
Or, maybe just escaping the kids for a few minutes.
Exactly. And if that's not enough, there's a rear entertainment system with a huge TV screen. It's like a mobile movie theater back there.
Wow. They really went all out on the comfort and entertainment. No wonder the YouTuber was so impressed.
And the materials are top-notch, too. He mentions prime smooth leather, but he wasn't sure if it was real or synthetic. And some really nice fabric upholstery as well. Clearly, they didn't skimp on the details.
Attention to detail is key when you're going for that premium feel. It's not just about having fancy features. It's about the quality, the craftsmanship, the whole package. Sounds like Honda really stepped up their game with this Sparta Premium line.
They definitely did. But, this is still a minivan. It needs to be practical, too.
Right, right. Plush seats and movie screens are great, but a minivan's got to be able to haul stuff too. What about the cargo space?
Oh, it delivers. The rear seats fold flat into the floor with, like, a single lever. No wrestling with heavy seats or anything, just boom, flat floor.
Ah, the classic minivan magic. Love it.
And the little details, like the convenience hooks with a 3-kilogram capacity and rubberized surfaces to prevent things from sliding around.
I love those little touches. They really show how much thought went into the design. Okay, I'm sold on the looks, the comfort, the practicality. But what about the tech? What kind of gadgets and gizmos does this Step WGN have up its sleeve?
Well, it's got all the expected stuff, of course. The Honda Sensing Suite, LKAS, ACC, electronic parking brake, paddle shifters, a nice big navigation screen,
Hmm.
you name it.
The usual suspects, huh? Anything that stood out to you as particularly cool or unusual?
There were a couple of things that caught my eye. First, there's a TM 2.5 air conditioning filter. Not sure what's so special about that, though. You have any insight on that?
Oh, the TM 2.5 filter. That's interesting. It's a sign of the times, really. Air quality, especially in places like Osaka, densely populated areas, it's a big concern. Those TM 2.5 filters are specifically designed to trap those super tiny particles that regular filters miss. The ones smaller than 2.5 microliters.
Wow, I didn't realize they were that small.
Yeah, they're tiny, but they can be nasty. So those filters can make a real difference for people with allergies or like respiratory issues.
It's amazing how car tech is evolving beyond just like performance and entertainment. It's about health and well-being too.
Absolutely. Creating a healthier, more comfortable environment inside the vehicle, it all ties into that overall sense of like well-being that we were talking about earlier. It's not just luxury, it's about creating a space where you can truly like relax and breathe easy.
Yeah, I like that. And speaking of breathing easy, another feature that impressed me was the 360-degree camera system. The YouTuber was like raving about how easy it makes it to maneuver in tight spots. And of course, you can't forget the heated seats. This one has 3 levels of warmth, separate controls for the driver and passenger.
Sounds like they really thought of everything. But enough about the static features, right? Let's get to the heart of it. What's it like to actually drive this thing?
Okay, here's where things get really fun. The YouTuber, he described the steering as having a real sense of solidity and heft, you know, like you really feel in control of the car.
Oh, I love that feeling, that sense of connection to the road. It's important, especially in a minivan, which can sometimes feel a bit, disconnected.
Yeah, exactly. And he also mentioned the visibility is excellent. Big windows, high seating position. He even compared it to driving an SUV.
Interesting. So it challenges that common perception of minivans being bulky and like cumbersome to drive. Sounds like Honda has managed to create that spacious interior without sacrificing that driver's connection with the road.
Right. But you know what really impressed him? The quietness of the cabin.
Ah, the holy grail of automotive refinement. Quietness is golden, especially in a family car.
I know, right? He said that even at 50 kilometers was remarkably quiet. He attributed it to a couple of things, like the improved engine shaft design and also like the effective sound insulation they used.
That's impressive. Noise, vibration, and harshness, or NVH as it's called in the industry, that's a key indicator of a car's overall refinement. Sounds like Honda has really put in the effort to create a peaceful and, a comfortable driving experience.
For sure. And, he even mentioned how the engine will like sometimes shut off completely at lower speeds and the car just glides along silently on electric power.
Ah, the beauty of the EHEV hybrid system. Seamless transition between gas and electric power.
It's pretty slick.
Yeah.
And he had some fun playing around with the different driving modes. There's an econ mode that gives you really strong regenerative braking. He said it almost feels like you're driving with one pedal.
Oh, I love that one pedal feel. It's so smooth and intuitive once you get used to it.
Yeah, it's cool. And then there's the normal mode, which offers a more traditional acceleration experience. But overall, what really stood out to him was that feeling of refinement. The quiet cabin, the smooth acceleration, that solid steering feel. It all adds up to a really premium experience.
It does sound like Honda has successfully challenged those old stereotypes about minivans. They've created a vehicle that manages to be both practical and luxurious without sacrificing either.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes this deep dive so fascinating, right? We're not just looking at a car, we're exploring this like shift in automotive
Yeah.
design and what
Yeah.
people expect from their vehicles.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool to think about how these trends might influence the future of like family transportation.
Yeah. And not just in Japan, but globally. It's a global conversation.
Totally. But let's not forget about that used car value proposition, right?
Yeah.
This Step WGN Sparta Premium Line is hitting the market at a very interesting time, especially with those price increases looming on the horizon.
Right. Let's break down the numbers again. This particular car, with all the bells and whistles, was originally priced at $3,840,000. The current model year starts at $4,060,000, and that upcoming facelift, adding another $200,000 to the bill.
So yeah, buying new is going to cost you a pretty penny. But here you have this used model, practically brand new, low mileage, all the extras, and for much lower price.
It makes a strong case for considering the used car market. You can often find some amazing deals, especially if you know where to look and what to look for.
And he did the math. A brand new Step WGN Sparta Premium Line with all the same options as this used model, you're looking at around $4,900,000.
Wow, that's a huge difference. It makes this used car look like an absolute steal.
Right. And don't forget, this being a demonstrator model, it was probably babied. More time being detailed than actually driven, I bet.
That's a great point. Demonstrator models can be real gems in the used car market.
Yeah.
Low mileage, great condition, and you avoid that initial depreciation hit that new cars take.
It's a smart way to get a lot of car for your money, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And in this case, you're getting a lot of car, period. This Step WGN Sparta Premium Line, it's packed with features, it's luxurious, it's practical. It seems like Honda really hit a home run with this one.
I think so too. But you know what? There's still so much more to uncover.
Oh, I know. We've barely scratched the surface. There's a whole world of details and insights waiting for us in that YouTube review.
And we're going to dive into all of it. So stay tuned, folks, because things are about to get even more interesting.
Can't wait.
All right, so we've covered the looks, the comfort, the practicality,
Hmm.
but let's get into the tech a little deeper. What really makes this Step WGN Sparta Premium Line tick?
Yeah, let's get geeky with it. Tech is such a huge part of the driving experience these days. What stood out to you in the YouTube video?
Well, on top of all the standard goodies, like the Honda Sensing Suite and all that, there's this one thing that caught my eye. It had a TM 2.5 air conditioning filter.
Oh yeah, the TM 2.5, that's becoming more and more common, especially in Japan.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it like a big deal over there?
Well, think about it. Air quality in Japan, especially in those big cities, it can be a real issue. And those TM 2.5 filters, they're designed to catch those really fine particles that regular filters miss, the ones that are smaller than 2.5 micrometers.
That's like incredibly small.
It is, but those tiny particles, they can be pretty bad for your health, especially if you have allergies or any respiratory problems. So yeah, those filters, they're becoming a sought-after feature.
Makes sense. It's cool how car tech is evolving beyond just like performance and fancy gadgets.
Huh.
It's about health and well-being now, too.
Right. It's about creating a clean and healthy space inside the vehicle. It's
Okay.
not just about luxury anymore. It's about creating an environment where you can actually breathe easy and feel good.
For sure. And speaking of feeling good, I was also impressed with the 360-degree camera system. That bird's eye view of the car. The YouTuber was saying how much easier it makes parking and maneuvering in tight spaces.
Yeah, that's becoming pretty standard on a lot of cars these days, but it's still a super useful feature, especially on a larger vehicle like a minivan.
Absolutely. And of course, no luxury car would be complete without heated seats. This one has 3 levels of warmth, separate controls for the driver and passenger. So, everyone can be perfectly comfortable.
Very nice. It sounds like they've really thought of everything, but we can talk about features and specs all day long, but what really matters is the driving experience. What's it like to actually get behind the wheel of this thing?
All right, so here's where things get really interesting. The YouTuber was really impressed with the steering feel. He said it felt really solid, like you could really feel the weight of the car.
Oh, I love that. That feeling of connection, like you're really in control. That's so important, especially in a minivan, which sometimes can feel a bit, floaty or disconnected.
I know what you mean. But this one, it sounds like it really handles well. And he also talked about the visibility. He said it was excellent, thanks to those big windows and the high seating position. He even compared it to driving an SUV.
That's interesting. It's like they've managed to combine the spaciousness of a minivan with the commanding view of an SUV.
Yeah, I thought that was cool too. But here's the thing that really blew him away: how quiet the cabin is.
Ah, yes. The quiet cabin. The holy grail of automotive refinement. Especially in a family car, right? Silence is golden.
Seriously. He was saying that even at like 50 kilometers an hour, it was remarkably quiet.
Mhm.
And he attributed that to a couple of things. One was the improved engine shaft design, and the other was just like really effective sound insulation throughout the vehicle.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. It's those little things, the attention to detail, that really separates a good car from a great car. And it sounds like Honda has really put in the effort here to make the Step WGN Sparta Premium Line a truly refined driving experience.
And get this, he even mentioned how the engine will like often completely shut off at lower speeds, and the car just glides along silently on electric power.
Ah, yes. The beauty of that EHEV hybrid system, that
Hmm.
seamless transition between gasoline and electric power.
It's impressive, right?
Yep.
And he also had fun experimenting with the different driving modes. The Econ mode, with its strong regenerative braking, he said it almost feels like you're driving with one pedal.
I love that one pedal driving. It's so smooth and efficient once you get used to it.
Yeah, it's cool. And then there's the normal mode, which offers a more traditional acceleration experience. But, what really struck him was the overall feeling of refinement. That quiet cabin, that smooth acceleration, the solid steering feel. It all adds up to a truly premium driving experience.
It does sound like Honda has managed to really redefine what a minivan can be. They've taken this vehicle that's traditionally associated with, practicality and family hauling, and they've elevated it to a whole new level of sophistication and refinement.
I think you're right. And that's what makes this deep dive so interesting, right? We're
Mhm.
seeing how car makers are like pushing the boundaries and challenging those old assumptions about what certain types of vehicles can be.
Absolutely. And it's exciting to see how those innovations might influence the future of family transportation and really just the way we think about cars in general.
But let's not forget about that used car value proposition,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
This Step WGN Sparta Premium Line, it's hitting the market at a really interesting time, especially with those price increases coming up for the new models.
Right. Let's remind everyone of the numbers here. This particular step WGN, fully loaded with all those options, originally went for $3,840,000. The current model year starts at $4,060,000.
Mm.
And then you add that upcoming facelift, which is expected to tack on another $200,000.
So yeah, buying new is going to set you back a bit,
Mhm.
but then you have this used model, practically brand new, low mileage, all the bells and whistles, and for a much more attractive price.
It really highlights the value of, doing your research and considering the used car market. You can often find some incredible deals out there, especially if you're looking for something that's, still relatively new and in great condition.
And he did the math. A brand new Step WGN Sparta Premium Line with all the same options as this used model. You're looking at around $4,900,000.
Wow, that's a massive difference. It's like daylight robbery. It makes
Yeah.
this used car look like an absolute steal.
Yeah, it really does. And remember, it was a demonstrator model, which means it was probably meticulously cared for.
Right. Probably spend more time in the showroom than on the road.
Exactly. And he also reminded everyone about all those expensive options that come standard on this particular car. If you were to add those to a new car, you'd be looking at a much higher price tag.
It all comes down to value, right? What are you getting for your money? And in this case, it seems like you're getting a whole lot of car for a very reasonable price.
Yeah, it's a pretty compelling package. Luxury, practicality, technology, all wrapped up in a stylish and fuel-efficient minivan.
It's almost too good to be true. But, there's still more to explore. We haven't even talked about the safety features yet.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We need to dive into that. Safety is, obviously a huge consideration, especially for families.
Absolutely. Let's see what Honda has done to protect its precious cargo in this Stepa WGN Sparta Premium Line.
Okay, so first and foremost, it's got the Honda Sensing Suite. Yeah. All those safety and driver assist features that are becoming pretty standard these days.
Right. Things like lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation braking, all those systems that can really help prevent accidents and keep everyone safe. They're becoming essential features in modern cars.
I agree. And the YouTuber, he was really impressed with the 360-degree camera system, that bird's eye view of the car. He said it's super helpful when you're maneuvering in tight spaces like parking lots and stuff.
Yeah, it eliminates those blind spots and gives you that extra confidence, especially if you're not used to driving a larger vehicle. It's a great feature to have.
He also mentioned the blind spot monitoring system, which alerts you if there's a car in your blind spot when you're changing lanes,
Yeah.
and the rear cross traffic alert, which is like a lifesaver when you're backing out of a parking space.
Right. Those are features that can really make a difference in preventing accidents. It's great to see that Honda has included those in the Stepwagon Spada Premium Line. It shows that they're really serious about safety.
Oh, yeah. And of course, it's got all the standard safety features too, like airbags, anti-lock brakes, stability control, traction control,
The whole 9 yards.
whole shebang. So, yeah, it seems like they've really gone above and beyond to make this minivan not only luxurious and practical, but also really safe.
Absolutely. And that's going to be a big selling point for a lot of people, especially families.
Hmm.
Knowing that you and your loved ones are protected. It's peace of mind.
Totally.
Yeah.
So we've talked about luxury, practicality, technology, safety. I mean, is there anything this minivan can't do?
Well, it can't fly yet. But seriously, it does sound like Honda has created a truly exceptional vehicle with this Stepwagon Spada Premium Line. It's like the ultimate family car. It's got everything you could possibly want or need.
I know, right? It's like the minivan of my dreams.
Mine too, honestly. But, there's one aspect we haven't really touched on yet. It's kind of hard to describe, but it's that emotional connection. The feeling that a car evokes.
Ah, I know what you mean. It's like the vibe of the car.
Exactly. Beyond all the features and specs, what kind of experience does this minivan offer? What's the overall feeling?
Well, the YouTuber definitely picked up on that. He kept saying how this Stepwagon Spada Premium Line, it's more than just a car. It's like a home away from home, especially for families.
I like that. Home away from home. It has that sense of comfort and familiarity, right? Like a place where you can truly relax and be yourself.
Exactly. And he was picturing like parents relaxing in those comfy captain's chairs while the kids are entertained in the back with the,
Yeah.
the big TV screen. It's like having a mobile living room.
A sanctuary from the chaos of the outside world.
Exactly. A place where you can just like chill out and enjoy each other's company.
And that's so important, especially in today's world, where everyone is so busy and stressed out. It's about creating those moments of peace and connection, even when you're on the go. And it's not just for families either.
Oh, yeah. He was also talking about how business professionals could use this minivan, like as a mobile office.
Ah, yes. The mobile office. Take advantage of that quiet cabin, get some work done between meetings. It's like having your own little private space wherever you go.
Like a high-tech cocoon on wheels.
Mm-hmm.
And he even suggested that this Stepwagon could be a good option for people who are like downsizing from a larger house.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. Like a minimalist's dream car.
Right. It's got everything you need in a compact and stylish package.
It really speaks to that growing trend of like minimalism and wanting a more flexible lifestyle.
Exactly. So it's not just about transportation. It's about lifestyle. It's about
Right.
connection. It's about finding those moments of peace and relaxation in a busy world.
And I think that's what makes this Stepwagon Spada Premium Line so special. It's more than just a car. It's a statement about how you want to live your life.
I love that. It's like a car with a soul. But, it does make me wonder, could this kind of like premium minivan concept, could it catch on outside of Japan?
That's a great question. Minivans, they haven't always had the best reputation in other parts of the world. But maybe, just maybe, the Stepwagon Spada Premium Line could change that.
It would be interesting to see, wouldn't it? Like, could we start to see minivans as not just practical and, family-friendly, but also as stylish and aspirational?
I think it's possible. People are starting to realize that minivans can be really cool. They can be luxurious. They can be fun to drive. They can be everything.
I hope so. Because honestly, I'm kind of in love with this Stepwagon Spada Premium Line. But you know what? There's still one more thing we haven't talked about. How it actually handles all that cargo.
Oh, right. The cargo space. We can't forget about that. After all, it is a minivan.
So let's get back to practicality for a minute and see how this Stepwagon stacks up.
All right, let's do it. Let's see if it lives up to its minivan duties.
Okay, so the YouTuber, he was totally blown away by how easily the rear seats fold down into the floor. Like it's literally a one-handed operation. You pull a lever and bam, you've got a completely flat floor.
That's the beauty of a minivan, right? That effortless transformation from people carrier to cargo hauler.
Exactly. And once those seats are down, there's so much space back there. He was saying you could easily fit bikes, camping gear, all kinds of stuff.
Like a mobile storage unit.
Right. And he pointed out these little rubberized strips on the cargo floor, which are designed to prevent things from sliding around. It's a small detail, but it makes a big difference, especially if you're hauling groceries or, anything that could potentially spill.
I love those little design touches. It shows that they've really thought about how people are actually going to use the vehicle.
Yeah, it's the little things that count. And don't forget those convenience hooks with their 3-kilogram weight capacity, perfect for hanging shopping bags or, whatever you need to keep out of the way.
Yeah, those are super handy. It's all about creating a sense of order and organization, even amidst the chaos of, family life.
So it's luxurious, it's practical, it's got all the latest tech, it's safe. I mean, is there anything this minivan doesn't do?
Well, it can't fly
Huh.
yet. But seriously, it sounds like Honda has really hit a home run with this Step WGN Sparta Premium Line. They've managed to create a vehicle that's not only incredibly versatile and functional, but also like genuinely stylish and aspirational.
I totally agree. It's like the ultimate expression of what a minivan can be. And it makes me really excited about the future of like family transportation.
Me too. Who knows what other amazing innovations are just around the corner?
Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this part of our deep dive. But we're not done yet. There's still so much more to explore.
Oh yeah, we're just getting started. Stay tuned, folks, because things are about to get even more interesting.
As we've been going through all this stuff about the Step WGN Starter Premium line, it's really hit me that we often get so caught up in the nuts and bolts of cars, like the horsepower, the tech specs, all that. But this minivan, it's different. It's almost like it taps into something deeper, something more emotional.
I think you're right. It's about the feeling you get when you're behind the wheel, that sense of connection, of well-being, that a really well-designed car can evoke. It's not just about getting from point A to point B, it's about the experience of the journey itself.
Yeah. And the YouTuber kept talking about this WGN Sparta Premium line as like a third space.
Yeah.
Like it's not your home, it's not your work, but it's this space in between, a place where you can relax, recharge, and connect with the people you care about.
That's an interesting concept, that third space idea. It's like a buffer zone between the demands of work and home, a
Yeah.
place where you can just like de-stress and be yourself. And it makes sense that this minivan, with its focus on comfort and technology and like just a sense of spaciousness, would embody that idea so well.
He was even picturing like a family road trip in this thing, parents chilling in those captain's chairs, kids entertained in the back with the huge TV screen, everyone enjoying the scenery and each other's company. It's like a completely different experience from those cramped, chaotic car rides that we all probably remember from our childhoods.
Right. It's about turning those often dreaded family road trips into something enjoyable, even like memorable, creating those shared experiences where everyone can relax and bond and like just make some good memories together. And it
Uh,
doesn't have to be just families either.
Oh, yeah. He was also talking about how business professionals could use this minivan as like a mobile office,
Yeah.
take advantage of that quiet cabin, those comfortable seats, and get some work done between meetings.
Yeah, it's like having your own little mobile sanctuary, a place where you can escape the noise and chaos of the world and just focus on what you need to get done.
It's like a high-tech, super comfy cocoon on wheels.
I love that. And he even went so far as to suggest that this stepped WGN could be a viable option for someone who's like downsizing from a bigger house.
Yeah, like it's almost like a really stylish, high-tech studio apartment on wheels.
It's a really fascinating idea, and it speaks to this bigger trend of, minimalism and people wanting more flexible, more sustainable lifestyles.
For sure. So it's not just about transportation, it's about lifestyle, it's about connection, it's about like finding those moments of peace and relaxation in a world that's constantly demanding our attention.
And I think that's what makes this Step WGN Sparta Premium Line so compelling. It's more than just a car, it's a statement about how you want to live your life.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. It's a car with a soul, a car that's designed to enhance your life in a meaningful way.
And it makes you wonder, right? Like, could this kind of premium minivan concept, could it actually catch on outside of Japan?
That's a great question. Minivans haven't always had the coolest reputation in other parts of the world. But maybe, just maybe, the Step WGN Sparta Premium line could be the car to change that.
Maybe it could be the minivan that finally breaks the mold, and shows people that minivans can be Like cool and stylish and desirable.
I hope so. I'm kind of like I'm rooting for the minivan, haha. But you know what? On that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive.
Oh, already. I'm sad to see it go.
I know, me too. But we've covered a lot of ground today. We've explored the luxury, the practicality, the technology, the safety, even like the emotional side of this amazing minivan. It's been a truly fascinating journey.
It really has. And, it just goes to show that innovation can come from the most unexpected places. And sometimes the best things in life are the ones that surprise us, that challenge our assumptions, and that ultimately make us rethink what's possible.
I couldn't have said it better myself. So to all our listeners out there, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of the Honda Step WGN Spada Premium Line. We hope you've enjoyed the ride.
And until next time, keep those minds curious, keep those imaginations open, and always be on the lookout for the unexpected.
See you next time, everybody.